When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
Likes me the way I am. I have my faults. He likes my faults. I'm not very bright. He's not very bright. He thinks I'm grand. That's grand for me. He may be wrong, but if we get along, what do we care, say we? When he holds me close, close as we can be, I tell the lad that I'm grateful and I'm glad that I'm nobody else but me. I was a shy, demure type, inhibited, insecure type of girl, a pearl of no great price was I, till a certain cutie called me sweetie pie. Now I'm smug and snooty, and my head is high. I wanna be no one but me. I may be wrong, but if we get along, what do we care, say we? When he holds me close, close as we can be, say I tell the lad that I'm grateful and I'm glad that I'm nobody else, nobody else. Don't want to be nobody else but me.
And as that magnificent voice tells you, there was nobody else like Dinah Shore. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here on 88.3 WLIW FM, Long Island's only signature, one-of-a-kind, shoe-fly, pie, and apple pan-dowdy NPR station. So we're coming to you today. I have a little bit of the flu. I'm doing better. Thank you. Thank you for your cards and letters, folks. So I'm a little raspy, but what could cheer one up more than listening to 54 minutes of Dinah Shore? And I had an experience the other day, a couple days ago. I was seeing this film called The Brutalist, which is very brutal. It's a tough movie. I don't think it will be made into a musical anytime soon. But early on in the movie, 1948, somebody puts a record on the gramophone and this voice comes out and it's Dinah Shore, and it just lifts everything off the mortal plane. They flip the record over. The side B is not the actual side B for this record. We'll hear it later in the show. And I thought Dinah Shore is so underappreciated, and for what we love here, the Broadway musical, her bandwidth just covers some of the most important years in the American musical and all these great composers. That song, of course, we heard was from Showboat. She recorded a lot of stuff by Kern. She was in the film of Till the Clouds Roll By. And she was born in 1916 in Winchester, Tennessee. And her name was Frances Fanny Rose Shore, a Jewish family. How about that? The only Jewish family, supposedly, greengrocers, of course, in that town in Kentucky. And she suffered from polio as a kid, but she was indomitable. Even as a youngster, she went to Vanderbilt University and was head of a sorority and made herself a singing star, just as it was difficult to do that without being part of a particular orchestra, but she did. So we'll hear a bunch of stuff she sang from the 40s onward. This is an Noel Coward song she sang in 1948. She was one of the first American singers to sing the song. She sings it quite beautifully. Here's Dinah Shore.
Mad about the boy. I know it's stupid to be mad about the boy. I'm so ashamed of it, but must admit the sleepless nights I've had about the boy. Walking down the street, his eyes look out at me from people that I meet. I can't believe it's true, but when I'm blue, in some strange way, I'm glad about the boy. Lord knows I'm not a fool girl. I really shouldn't care. Lord knows I'm not a schoolgirl in the flurry of her first affair. Will it ever cloy this odd diversity of misery and joy? I'm feeling quite insane and young again, and all because I'm mad about the boy. Love isn't so sublime. I have to pay my rental, and I can't afford to waste much time. If I could employ a little magic that would finally destroy this dream that pains me and enchains me, but I can't because I'm mad about the boy. I'm mad about the boy. Mad about the boy.
Noel Coward's mad about the boy. Well, we're mad about Dinah Shore. Dinah Shore happened to be around when a lot of these post-World War II Broadway songs were recorded by just about everybody, and someone had the brilliant idea to pair her up with another songstress who was hitting her stride in the late 40s, and that was Doris Day. Here's a duet from Miss Liberty, recorded Irving Berlin's score before the show even opened. Two titans of the American Popular Songbook. Dinah Shore first, and then Doris Day.
You can have him, I don't want him. He's not worth fighting for Besides, there's plenty more where he came from. I don't want him, you can have him. He isn't my concern, and he can just return where he came from. I could never make him happy. He'd be better off with you. I'm afraid I never loved him. All I ever wanted to do was run my fingers through his curly locks, mend his underwear and darn his socks, fetch his slippers and remove his shoes, wipe his glasses when he read the news, rub his forehead with a gentle touch, mornings after when he's had too much, kiss him gently when he cuddled near, give him babies one for every year. So you see, I don't want him, you can have him. You can have him, I don't want him, for he's not the man for me. I would look a trifle silly taking him away from you. That was never my intention. All I ever wanted to do was close the window while he soundly slept, raid the icebox where the food is kept, cook a breakfast that would please him most, eggs and coffee and some buttered toast, wake him gently with the breakfast tray, after breakfast clear the things away, bring the papers and when they've been read, spend the balance of the day in bed. So you see, I don't want him, you can have him, you can have him, I don't want him, for he's not the man for me. I don't want him, you can have him, you can have him, I don't want him, for he's not the man for me.
Well, some of you may be raising an eyebrow or two. Well, I guess you only have two, right? And saying, really, Dinah Shore, she was never in a Broadway show. She never made a film of a Broadway show. Yes, but she made one of the most important cast albums of the 1950s in a show she wasn't even in. And this was Call Me Madam, another great Irving Berlin score. And RCA had not only gotten the rights to record the cast album, they bankrolled the whole show. I think it cost back then of a whopping $250,000. But the one thing they ain't got was the rights to use Ethel Merman. Ethel Merman was under contract at Decca. And as far as I know, this is the only score that had two contemporaneous cast albums. Ethel Merman did one for Decca, Dick Haymes, nobody from the original cast, but Dinah Shore fronted the part of Miss Sally Adams with the original Broadway cast. So here are two great songs from the original Broadway cast album of Call Me Madam, plus Dinah Shore. What could be better than that?
I was born on 1,000 acres of Oklahoma land. Nothing grew on the 1,000 acres, for it was gravel and sand. One day Father started digging in a field, hoping to find some soil. He dug, and what do you think? Oil, oil, oil. The money rolled in and I rolled out with a fortune pile so high. Washington was my destination, and now who am I? chosen party giver for the White House clientele. And they know that I deliver what it takes to make 'em gel. And in Washington I'm known by one and all as the hostess with the mostest on the ball. They would go to Elsa Maxwell when they had an axe to grind. They could always grind their axe well at the party she designed. But the hatchet grinders now prefer to call on the hostess with the mostest on the ball. I've a great big bar and good caviar, yes, the best that can be found, and a large amount in my bank account when election time comes round. If your thoughts are presidential, you can make it, yes indeed. There are just 3 things essential. Let me tell you what you need is an ounce of wisdom and a pound of gold. And the hostess with the mostest on the ball. Entertaining vodka drinkers is a job they give to me. Making nice guys out of stinkers seems to be my cup of tea. What they really need behind the iron wall is the hostess with the mostest on the ball. There's a book of regulations as to who sits next to who, but there may be complications when the blue blood's not so blue. So the priestess with the leastest protocol is the hostess with the mostest on the ball. An ambassador has just reached the shore. He's a man of many loves, an important gent from the Orient to be handled with kid gloves. He can come and let his hair down, have the best time of his life, even bring his new affair down, introduce her as his wife. But she mustn't leave her panties in the hall for the hostess, who's the hostess with the mostest on the ball.
I hear singing and there's no one there. I smell blossoms and the trees are bare. All day long I seem to walk on air. I wonder why, I wonder why. I keep tossing in my sleep at night, and what's more, I've lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the skies are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why.
You don't need analyzing. It is not so surprising that you feel very strange but nice. Your heart goes pitter-patter. I know just what's the matter, because I've been there once or twice. Put your head on my shoulder. You need someone who's older. I rub down with a velvet glove. There is nothing you can take to relieve that pleasant ache. You're not sick, you're just in love. You don't need analyzing. It is not so surprising that you feel very strange
and the trees are bare.
Your heart goes
long I seem to walk
on air. What's the matter? Because I've been there once or twice. Put your head on my shoulder. You need someone who's older. I rub down
what's more, I've lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the sky are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why.
Dinah Shore and Russell Knipe from the score to Call Me Madam. Of course, you couldn't help sing stuff by Richard Rodgers during this period. This was their late 1940s into the 50s. This was their grand period. Here's a song from a show I like called Me and Juliet. Very few people recorded it. It was a title number on one of her albums. And then we'll go into another far more popularly recognized song by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
I'm your girl, it's time you knew. All I am belongs to you. Anytime you're out of love, I'm unlucky too. I'm your partner, your lover, your wife, your friend. I'll be walking beside you till journey's end. With your arm around me, I'll be yours alone. I'm the girl you with your arm around me, I'll be yours alone. I'm the girl you He will not always say what you would have him say, but now and then you'll say something wonderful. The thoughtless things he'll do will hurt and worry you, but now and then he'll do something wonderful. He has 1,000 dreams that won't come true. You know that he believes in them, and that's enough for you. You'll always go along, defend him when he's wrong, and tell him when he's strong, he is wonderful. He'll always need
Well, that was something wonderful, wasn't it? From The King and I. And that was from a television recording. And in the late 40s, you know, television becomes this big thing in 48, 49. And Dinah Shore begins to dominate the variety show on television, where she had, of course, a million guests. It was the Chevy Hour, or the Dinah Shore Chevy Hour, or Chevrolet. It had a lot of different titles, but it was her domain. It was a hit show for about a decade. She won 7 Emmy Awards. My goodness. And invited people, and was thrilled that people invited her into their living room, as well they should be. Here is a duet, or a duo, or 2 songs from Guys and Dolls. Frank Loesser. Couldn't have been a bigger show in the 1950s. You may not recognize the lyrics to the first one, but it is the first version of a song that opened Guys and Dolls.
It has a tender sound, this little tune I found. I don't know why it's following me around.
It has a tender sound, this little tune I found. I don't know why it's following me around.
It has a tender sound, this little tune I found. I don't know why it's following me. I heard it all begin above the Broadway din, and it was so appealing I joined right in. La la, la la,
and
la la, la la,
I joined right in.
la la, la la, above the Broadway din, and it was so appealing. La la. And now I walk alone among the Broadway throng, inviting everybody to sing my song.
And now I walk along among the Broadway throng, inviting everybody to sing my song.
And now I walk along among the Broadway throng, inviting everybody to sing. Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. From the moment we kiss tonight, that's the way I've just got to behave. Boy, if I were a lamp, I'd light, or if I were a banner, I'd wave. Ask me, how do I feel? Little me with my quiet upbringing. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a gate, I'd be swinging. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping ripen my spring. Oh, if I were a bell, I'd go ding-dong, ding-dong, ding. Ask me, how do I feel from this chemistry lesson I'm learning? Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bridge, I'd be burning. Yes, I knew my morale would crack from the wonderful way you looked. Boy, if I were a duck, I'd quack. Or if I were a goose, I'd be cooked. Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're fondly caressing. Pal, if I were a salad, I know I'd be splashing my dressing. Or if I were a season, I'd surely be spring. Or if I were a bell, I'd go ding-dong, ding-dong, ding.
Dinah Shore, singing beautifully from that Reprise musical theater repertory selection of albums that Frank Sinatra produced in the early 1960s. She has a perfect voice to play Miss Sarah from Guys and Dolls. This is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street, and today we are looking at Dinah Shore, when Dinah Shore ruled the Broadway Songbook. And my admiration for her is just tremendous once I dove into finding out about her. You know, she just had her own show. Obviously, movies weren't so appealing to her, but she was on every major record label. Television was her platform. She started a golf tournament. She had her own talk show in the 70s, and she was a really honest, it seems to me, and sincere individual. She managed to use some of her jazz chops, which were not insignificant. She said when she grew up in Kentucky, she definitely tapped into black music down there, and people like Ethel Waters were among her early inspirations. And rumor has it that she got her name from Ethel Waters' recording of Dinah. We don't know that for sure. But here she is with Andre Previn at the keyboard. Wonderful version of My Funny Valentine.
Funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Change your hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine. Stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
I still don't know whether we ought to sing Mac the Knife, though.
Well, why not, honey? It's a great song.
Well, I agree. I love the song, but my goodness, it's been done so much.
Just because people, you know, they play it over and over again, they don't know, they're trying to figure out what it means.
Yeah, I'm with them. I don't know what it means either.
Well, I tell you what, Dinah, you sing it, and I'll explain it. You see, I belong to the teenage set.
So you do. All right, you better talk plain. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, the shark has
What?
pretty teeth, dear,
Uh-huh.
and he shows them
How, Dinah?
pearly white.
That's my name, Pearly Me.
But the jackknife
Oh.
has McHeath,
This man carries a weapon.
and he keeps it
Where?
out of sight.
Well, he's scared of the law.
But when the shark bites
Oh, he
with
bites.
his teeth, dear,
How else?
scarlet billows
What's those billows?
start to
Oh,
spread.
this God is spread.
Fancy gloves, though,
Oh.
has McHeath,
Well, the
dear.
man's a gentleman.
So there's not
Mm.
a trace of red
You watch out for the red.
on the sidewalk.
Oh,
Sunday morning
that's a nice quiet morning.
lies a body
Death strikes again.
oozing life.
Well, he's not dead yet.
Someone sneaking
Where?
around the corner.
Watch out, Dinah.
Is that someone?
Who?
A Mac the Knife
Or is it who?
from a tugboat.
Excursion
Down by the
time.
river.
Down by the river, don't you know?
A cement
What?
drop it down.
Well, watch out.
The cement's just
What for?
for the weight, dear.
Somebody's in a
Bet
bed.
your Mackie's back in town.
Sounds like you hit on a deal.
Joey Miller,
Who is this boy?
he disappeared
Well, he's in the bag.
after drawing
Money, money,
out
money.
his cash.
Ooh.
And Mac Heath spent
Watch out for tax.
like a
Now
sailor.
you know these sailors.
Did our boy
Do what?
do something right?
Honey, he lost the cash.
Silky
Pearlie Mae, of course, another television duet. She had so many interesting people on her television show. Sinatra and Boris Karloff and Ella Fitzgerald and blah, 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 blah. But that one with Pearl Bailey, I really, really like. She didn't really dig deep into some of the major show songs. She sang a lot of junk, to be honest with you, novelty songs in the 40s and early 50s. But here is her version. Here is her rendition, one of my favorite songs from the American canon, Johnny Mercer and Harold Arlen's "I Had Myself a True Love" from St. Louis Woman.
Myself a true love, who was something to see. I had myself a true love, at least that's what I kept on telling me. The first thing in the morning, I still try to think of a way to be with him some part of the evening, and that's the way I live through the day. She had herself a true love, and now he's gone and left her for good. The Lord knows I done heard those backyard whispers going round the neighborhood. There may be a lot of things I miss, a lot of things I don't know, but I do know this. Now I ain't got no love, and once upon a time I had a true love. In the evening, in the doorway, while I stand there waiting for his coming, with the house swept and the clothes hung and the pot on the stove there a-humming, where is he while I watch the rising moon with that girl in that damned old saloon? No, that ain't the way that it used to be. No, and everybody keeps on telling me there may be a lot of things I miss, a lot of things I don't know, but I do know this. Now I ain't got no love, and once upon a time I had a true love.
Well, as I said, she was a television monolith, and in the mid-'60s, Ed Sullivan had her on to sing with Ed Ames a song from Fiddler on the Roof. And you may go, oh, really? But they were both Jewish. Ed Ames was Edmund Ulrich, and she was Fannie Rose Shore. So here are two Jewish performers doing a beautiful job with Sunrise, Sunset.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears. Is this the little girl I carried?
Is this the little boy at play? I don't remember growing older. When did she grow to be a beauty?
Did she grow to be a beauty?
When did he grow to be so tall?
When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears.
And we close out our Dinah Shore show. I find her terribly moving. I find that duet terribly moving, that these two performers tapped in to their Jewish roots, even if nobody really knew it at the time. So here is a song. It was #1 song in 1949. It's from a movie called The Paleface, and it's written by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans, who we all know wrote the score to Oh Captain. So that makes it a prime candidate for Broadway to Main Street. I so enjoyed listening to Dinah Shore. I hope she lifts you up the way she did me, and will continue to do so. So here is Buttons and Bows.
East is east and west is west, and the wrong one I have chose. Let's go where I'll keep on wearing those frills and flowers and buttons and bows, rings and things and buttons and bows. Don't bury me in this prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's move down to some big town where they love a gal by the cut of her clothes, and I'll stand out in buttons and bows. I'll love you in buckskin and skirts that I've homespun, but I'll love you longer, stronger, where where your friends don't tote a gun. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce, and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep a-using those silks and satins and linens that shows, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce, and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linens that shows, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows.
Silks and satins and linen that shows, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows.
Give me Eastern trimming where women are women in high silk hose and peekaboo clothes and French perfume that rocks the room, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows. Buttons and bows. Buttons and bows.
Rings and flowers and buttons and bows. Rings and things and buttons and bows.
Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.
There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time.